That's what it was before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. We will love and miss him. The old Pisco that was. Our memorials would be built to honor his memory.
And if the...
But you're acting like this is dog.
Yeah, wait. Why am I so gaslit by everybody? Pussies! 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 What the fuck are we even doing? Guys, don't give them any ammunition. Guys, don't give them any... Actually, wait here. Get rage baited.
Ooh, a soy pill.
Yeah? Is it good? I learned it from watching you.
Is there a place I can skip to on this? We're not watching 2 hours and 11 minutes of this. Is this always PrimeCayes talking? In your view of like coalitions, like the coalition? That's mean. I'm sorry. Maybe not.
You specifically said in terms of your view of like
coalitions,
like the coalition and the larger battle, right? That it doesn't matter at all who comes in, right? So like I'll turn the question, I'll turn it back on you, right? Like if instead we had a whole list of Democrats who won, who were like pro-segregationists, you'd say like, well, I welcome them within the party, right? They have a D in front of their name, not an R, and so thank you. Like, please let's fill up with pro-segregationists. You're welcome here.
I mean, we'd be going back to the Democratic Party of, 5 or 6 decades ago, right?
Sorry, that didn't answer my question. Would you welcome?
Oh, the answer is probably yes. Yeah,
means?
in that context, that wouldn't you rather have the New Deal and a Great Society stuff than not? Prime?
Sorry, stop trying to dodge the question.
Wait, isn't the answer
yes?
I'm
not.
No, hold on. No, it's not. Hold on, we're not time traveling because he's like, oh, now we're going back in time. No, we're not doing that. I'm saying, hey, like for 2025. Right, or into 2026, we have brand new pro-segregationists coming into the Democratic Party. Would you welcome them because they have a D in front of their name instead of R? He says no. Pisco says no. Hutch, what about you?
Maybe. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Yeah. So that's a difference of opinion here, right? Like I'm against segregationists no matter what decade it is.
Well, do you? I mean, I don't want to get hung up too much. We can move on to the next topic. But like, do you think that Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes.
Okay, and
well, Hutch, let me clear it up, right? Because Hutch, the reason you would say yes.
But go ahead.
Okay, but tell me if I'm wrong, Hutch. The reason you would ever say yes to a pro-segregationist Democrat is because what's on the other side is now the right has moved so far, even past segregation. Of we're doing segregation and a lot more worse stuff, right? Not right now, everything the same, but you would welcome a segregationist Democrat.
Say that question again. I'm not
right now, every policy on the right remains the same. I do think this is like we're fascist, treading into fascism, but they haven't, said they're going to bring back segregation yet. They're teasing the idea of miscegenation, revisiting that.
But we're talking about fascism, right? Like when we talk about fascism, we should get into the specifics, right? What does that actually look like?
Right. But if the Democrats are pro-segregationists, that's worse than the current right-wing party.
First of all, this is a very strange question. But secondly, is fascism worse than segregation? I feel like the answer is pretty obviously yes. Segregation is bad. But Trump is deploying... Oh, this is another one of those they don't think Trump is that bad argument. One thing that I don't like about some of these hypotheticals is when people come into office, people say, okay, well, what's worse? The fascist conservatives we have now or the hypothetical segregationist Democrats? Well, are the segregationist Democrats going to have all the same hurdles to jump through as the current fascist conservatives? Or are you assuming that when the segregationist Democrats get in, they can just snap their fingers and do whatever they want? Because Trump still does have to fight through a lot of bureaucratic red tape. So, like, the hypothetical unstoppable segregationist Democrat is maybe worse than the current fascist Trump that's still having to jump through the hurdles. But, like, a hypothetical fascist Trump administration is infinitely worse than a hypothetical segregationist administration. No? Like it's... Yeah, I don't know. It's like... But these are like such weird policies to compare. I don't know.
Emerging segregationist Democrats. I'm happy to entertain your hypothetical. But even if we were to do this hypothetical,
Ridiculous.
Like you're saying that, like, let's say like 1 or 2 like segregationist Democrats emerge and all of a sudden they were competitive in like fucking Nebraska or Missouri. You're saying that us adding that to like get a Senate majority would be worse than the MAGA movement right now? In terms of like,
I think it would be. I think it would make the. So if I believed empirically it would help stop Trump, I would encourage you to vote for them. But we just have a different thought process on the empirics. So the empirics are that I think, and I think Soy Pill is convinced that allowing segregationists into the Democratic Party would like hurt mid to long term results in the brand of the Democrats, such that it would worsen our chances. To,
I mean,
do you
guys understand that like black civil rights leaders, when they were deciding who they wanted to endorse when FDR was running, they endorsed him even though he opposed an anti-lynch.
I don't even know why. Fuck, but I didn't watch the lead up to this. Why even take on this argument? We don't need to appeal to segregationists. What? I don't even know what this. I don't even know what the fuck this argument even is. This is like saying like I have a plan to wake up at 3 a.m. so that I can go to the gym and then go to sleep at 5 a.m. after, and I'm gonna change my whole. I'm gonna make this work, or whatever. And it's like, but it's like imagine a person saying this and they're like, don't even go to the gym or eat or anything. It's like, why are you? Why the fuck are you min-maxing your midnight sleep gym? What the fuck are you doing? Why are we even talking about this? Should we be, who even are segregationists? What? I don't even know what the fuck this conversation is. What are we talking about? What?
Legislation. And even though a third of the Democratic caucus were...
Because they hit Prime with a similar hypothetical? It was a hypothetical to voting for someone who supports the genocide. Oh, God.
Segregationists and Dixiecrats. Because their concern was fascism was rising. And yet we have a conversation these days about like Donald Trump is a fascist threat. And yet you propose...
I understand, Hutch, but this might be a good segue into another thing we were going to talk about, which Prime and I talked about last week, which is the amount of, I think you and I agree, displeasure and shade thrown at Plattner for a Nazi tattoo. But if he was a pro-segregationist and was polling better than Susan Collins, would you not have the same shade?
Oh, Hutch! Oh no!
No. If Plattner advances past this primary, I will tell my viewers to vote for him in Maine.
Yeah.
Ask the other question. If he doesn't, will Prime support? Is it Collins? Is that the person running against him? Will you support the other person? That's the difference, by the way. Also, I check all of your Reddit accounts when you guys are jerking off Mamdani in my subreddit. Okay, like I said, I support Mamdani. But if I go through your history and I see that you're one of those lib haters and you're just like trying to woke scold libs on supporting Mamdani, I permaban you. So, Janet Mills, my bad. I don't know anything about this race. This has all happened while I was traveling. I don't even know what the fuck Plattner is.
This is a primary. This is a discussion.
I know what the fuck he's running for. I'm gonna be honest.
During a primary, that's a
okay. And I guess the idea is in the primary, I doubt that the pro-segregationist is going to win over any of these other candidates. So the hypothetical silly because we wouldn't get that far.
Yeah, I doubt it.
No, I'm sorry, but no, this is important to
for Maine Senates. Is it the Maine Senate? Is it a state Senate seat or is it for the federal Senate? Is a Maine Senate? It's got to be for the federal. It's got to be for the U.S. Senate, right?
We're testing, right? His morals, his axioms, right? We're testing that. He's saying that, like, yes, pro-segregationists are welcome, however he defines that, right? Welcome in the party just because they have a D in front of their name instead of an R in front of their name, right? Like, that's like the essence. Like, it literally doesn't matter what it is, right? And then he tries to bring in. That's exactly what he said. And then he does this copium, right? Like trying to defend himself, like the nonsense that he just said in front of everyone here, right? Talking about, I guess your segregationists would be fine, right? And he has to like bring up like black civil rights, right? Like people operating in a different decade, right? Under like a literal state violence at the time, right? Like looking at a candidate who they could work with to overcome that segregation, right? Using the best political vehicle that they had at the time to
they made compromises.
You're saying
they made compromises.
And you're saying that within this decade, though, right? Like as it now,
you brought up segregationists.
Yes, I obviously did.
To make to do an extreme hypothetical.
Yeah, whatever. Hutch,
yeah, but you agreed to the extreme hypothetical.
Yeah, you agreed to the hypothetical. We were talking about the hypothetical, and that's so Soy Pill did a good job of drawing this out, saying, "Hey, like
I'm very open about like how I work.
Exactly the way it was now.
You didn't like snake something out of me. I talk about this all the time.
But we just had segregationists within our party. You'd say that's fine, right? Even today." Even if it meant, don't have to make those
let me just ask you, like, if it meant taking away the Senate majority from Republicans, would you be okay with it or no?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't be okay with segregation.
Prime, this is just the
a segregationist. What is a segregationist going to do, though? Who cares?
Again, hey, if they are avowed fascists, but they have a D in front of their name, would you welcome them, Hutch?
If it gave us the majority, yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You see, this is why I'm testing.
You have to add something to that.
But here is the difference. The difference is by welcoming like one or two people that have extreme positions, The way you framed it, Pisco, was not correct. You were saying like it's either like fascism versus like Jim Crow. The difference is there would be no risk of like Jim Crow laws being enacted in the Congress at that time. And if we allowed like someone who was like avowed fascist, like one person, there would be no risk of like fascist like codified law as a result of this.
There's an additional thing that what you're saying is assuming it would have a good result, right? Which I think is the core thing. Assuming that welcoming these people would produce a less risk or okay. But that's where I think Soy Pill and I diverge from you in the current, where the context is different, I think, back in the 40s and 60s versus now, where that kind of empirical case about whether it makes sense in the medium and long term to make these kinds of coalitions where it starts to break apart. But I think there's a on point like example of this currently in Virginia, Jay Jones. Everyone here, I think, finds the comments made by Jay Jones about like killing, or I don't know what he said, like the death of
kids, killing kids. Yeah.
We all find that reprehensible. I want commitments from everybody. You guys all endorse Jay Jones for Attorney General of Virginia, don't you?
Yep.
Yes. I'm a little on the fence about it, honestly.
On the fence. And why is that?
As opposed to the Republican, or what?
It's the same thing actually with the Graham Plattner stuff, where I'm like, okay, if this is the stuff you're saying in private, like I don't know how I feel about you being in charge of a lot, let alone anything. Now, granted, there's not really a better choice right now.
Read your texts. They basically align with your opinion 100%, and they're funny. I don't think I've actually read the actual texts. They say nice things about everyone, LOL. If those guys died before me, I would go to their funerals to piss in their graves, send them out awash in something. Jay Jones. 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives bullets every time. Jay, please stop. LOL, Gaga. It really bothers me when you talk about hurting people or wishing death on them. Ooh, wait, who's this? This sounds like he's being set up. Who the fuck is this guy? Who was he texting with? Between Delegate, Coiner, and Jones? Oh, from... Okay, Jones. Gotcha. A Republican elected official. These messages were years ago. You weren't simply asking questions, and you know it. I genuinely was. I wasn't trying to understand your logic. You weren't trying to understand. You were talking about hopping. Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. Yes, what it was before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. How long ago were these texts? Oh my God. Who? Okay, I don't care about this. This is fucking stupid. They were in 2022. He's a changed man, okay?
Mama might give Mamdani a phone call. I can say, look, I'm not going to be upset if he wins, but damn if I don't want to put my weight behind him.
So what objection do you have against like Prime? And Prime's like, okay, if this is how Kamala deals with the genocide in Israel, hang on. So the private comments of Jay Jones is enough to be like, I might not vote for him for Attorney General of Virginia, even if they're horrible like that?
Sure, and I guess the difference would be the scale of the consequences of him losing. Now, if you were to give me a good case of to why Jay Jones losing would be detrimental on a massive scale in Virginia, I'd say, yeah, whatever, I guess we could ignore this. But again, this is just like welcoming a segregationist into your party. While I can completely understand Hutch's like, yeah, obviously, if accepting 2 people who are not going to, pass major legislation to stop the fascist party is like the alternative, like that makes sense. But what are the downstream effects of welcoming this into your coalition? And like, how does that make you look? Does it reduce turnout?
You don't think having a Republican as the Attorney General is bad?
No, I obviously
in the state of Virginia, like that's bad. The guy apologized for his comments, some text messages between him and a colleague a couple years ago, and you're willing to risk getting a Republican Attorney General in one of the most pivotal states in the union? Really?
It's not about like I'm risking it. I guess you'd have to kind of lay out for me again. This is not something I'm super.
Why not get 100% behind him though? He's the Democrat. Like the Republican is 1,000 times worse. Like
I'm like 80. I'm like 80%
pussyfoot around it at all.
Because it's like, what am I willing to say? Yes, I will endorse this no matter what. And if you're
acting like this is dog.
Yeah. Wait. Why am I so gaslit by everybody? I got to break out of this. I'm in a way, I'm glad that I guess I'm kind of ejected from these people's orbits or whatever. I wouldn't be able to do it. Fucking Adam is my soul. I love him so much. Here's our hope in our future. This is so fucking soy. Like, President Trump, what are we doing today? Well, we just couped the government in Colombia. We dropped some bombs in Venezuela. I just finished turning off all the federal funding to 7 blue states. And I have now provided federal resources to Texas to arrest women that are crossing state lines without having first taken a pregnancy test to prove that they're allowed to leave the state. And we are also executing people who are using VPNs in Florida to watch pornography without verifying their ID and both jerk hands every 30 minutes on their phone. Oh my God. Thank you, President Trump. And what was that? What happened to that Jones guy? What did he do? Why didn't we want him to be the Attorney General? Well, he tweeted some pretty edgy shit one time, like to a guy. What the fuck are we even doing? Texted, not tweeted. Sorry, he texted in a private message. He texted in a private fucking message. He texted it in a message. One of the things, I do this to people. I can't confront most people that make accusations of me now because most of them are fucking pussies. But like the question to ask, Mr. Girl did this. I thought it was really funny when he would do this to people. Mr. Girl would ask, do you really think I would fuck kids? Do you actually think I'm a pedophile? When I made the song, I'm a pedophile. Do you really think I'm a pedophile? And it's a good question, right? When I get the chance to confront people, I ask them that. When I said this thing, when I said conservatives should be afraid in the current environment, do you think I said we need to kill conservatives? Conservatives need to die? Keep in mind, I'm going out here and I'm doing it. You really think that's what I meant? You think if you listen to me, that would be the impression that you take away? How is it that my whole audience misses this? How is it that nobody that listens to me seems to be like on board with going out and like what's going on here? Why are you interpreting me this way, right? When you read these text messages, even in the limited ones I am reading, does it sound like put 3 people in a room, who would you shoot twice? Is that really a murder threat? Do you really think people want to go kill people? This is our standard now? What the fuck are we doing here? Why are we even contemplating this? There's one criticism that should be levied at him about those text messages, and that it's he just shouldn't have texted it to a Republican. Destiny, keep your eye on Pisco's chat on the right. By the way, Ogre Boy and Doobie, we're going hard in the paint on pro-commie super chats. That Ogre Boy is so cringe, and Doobie is even worse. The fact that, whatever, we will love and miss him. The old Pisco that was. Our memorials will be built to honor his memory.
Catcher in the local community. This is Attorney General of the state of Virginia. It's a huge deal.
Sure. So lay out for me, Ira, like what would happen with a Republican Attorney General if Jay Jones were to lose?
Well, you wouldn't see
the redistricting ban, I think, was the big thing, right?
Lawsuits on behalf of the state trying to fight for funding from the Trump administration, for example. There could be
the government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they
went after criminals in Virginia and the Commonwealth, where like sometimes we can't count on the federal government to go after criminals, and so we have to rely on like state analog statutes to the extent that there's overlapping spheres of jurisdiction.
Like
for some of these,
like Alvin Bragg. Yeah, like Alvin Bragg did.
I guess we're in a weird moment where the ability for the Republicans to paint Democrats as literal demons to their entire party is kind of unprecedented. And so I'm stuck between 10 little demons to. We're in a weird moment where.
Is he going to keep saying the thing of like, guys, don't give them any ammunition. Guys, don't give them any ammunition. He's not going to do this, right? Can we be past this, please?
The ability for the Republicans to paint Democrats as literal demons to their entire party is kind of unprecedented. And so I'm stuck between 10 years ago politics where I look at this and say, I don't know how I feel about endorsing this person. And then at the same time, I guess it doesn't really matter because the worst thing that could possibly, have downstream effects on us because of some bad comments or behavior doesn't matter because they already think that. So if I was on the fence, I lean more towards, obviously I'd form of support, but 100% is a little harder for me. Hutch said 80. Can I say 75?
Now you sound like fucking Hakeem Jeffries or Obama with your phone call.
Let's flip the incentive here, okay? Like, would you guys vote for?
I think I changed Soy Pill's mind on the AG thing because I brought up Vance trying to get the Florida AG to go after you as the reason why we need Dem AG in Virginia, no matter what he texted. Base.
A segregationist in your state, if it meant getting single-payer healthcare.
Oh.
Wait.
Let's flip the incentive here, okay? Like, would you guys vote for a segregationist in your state if it meant getting single-payer healthcare?
Oh, make him answer, make them answer. Please make them answer that.
Oh my God. I'm not engaging with your segregationist.
Not you.
Wait,
make them.
If I knew it would have
so far-fetched and ridiculous. It's like,
I'll answer.
Would I endorse a serial?
No, not these two. IRI is so based. He'll answer anything, okay? Pisco is whatever. I want to hear these two answer that.
Murderer, if they were the Democratic nominee.
Let's do that. Literally, a convicted murderer. Would you vote for a convicted murderer who was pardoned by Donald Trump if it meant single-payer healthcare? If you knew for sure that you would get single payer healthcare,
and there were no other like mid to long term negative effects that I could calculate,
some kind of single payer.
Just one
thing,
Senate vote. It's just one crucial Senate vote. Okay, right? One crucial Senate vote. So the guy can't like unilaterally go and fucking do a bunch of shit. But you knew you'd get single payer.
He supports serial murder. Like he's not
No,
sorry about
segregation.
it or whatever. Like he's actually advocating for
Segregation.
serial
No,
murder.
privately IRA.
I can't believe you guys even have to think about this, man. It's single payer.
Well,
healthcare.
I'm trying to understand your idea.
Why do they get to meme through this and not answer it? It's so fucking lame, dude.
Well, here, Hutch, I think that
Because the segregationist would be promoting segregation.
Let's get away from segregation. Let's just get away from segregation.
Like playing ball with like the entire identity of someone. Like, hey, every single minority in this country, we might throw you under the bus potentially, or we might get on the board to the road to doing that. We're not doing it today. We're not doing it a year from now. But just so you know, we're gonna welcome these people in just for this one thing. It's a silly hypothetical because I don't think like there ever is going to be this dichotomy. And the same
you're fighting it.
Wait, now it's a silly hypothetical? Didn't they pose it before to Hutch though? Or did I misread? I kind of jumped in halfway.
Wait, just to say you're fighting the empirical case.
There's actually technically, they could thread the needle on this and they could just say, no, I wouldn't support a segregationist if they could get a single payer healthcare. And you say, because if they were a segregationist, then they would segregate all the minorities out of the single payer healthcare system. And that wouldn't really be single payer healthcare. Truth bomb.
Case that he's laying out in the hypothetical. You're fighting hypothetical. Our response is we think that accepting these people into the fold would have negative downstream effects that aren't so that we would say no. And
without those, I would say yes. Without those downstream effects, I do think those exist. And it reminds me of those stupid AI prompts like, I asked it if a nuke was going to explode, but if I screamed the N-word, it would stop. It wouldn't do it. And it's like, this is never going to happen. All right. This is very silly. And to get upset at people for not screaming slurs is kind of ridiculous in the hypothetical itself, because that's not really what's going on.
But I'm curious how Prime would answer given what he asked Hutch.
And to get upset at people for not screaming slurs is kind of ridiculous in the hypothetical itself, because that's not really what's going on.
But I'm curious how Prime would answer given what he asked Hutch.
I want to change it though. I want to change it though. Like, would you vote for a segregationist if you knew that it would lead to a socialist revolution? He's thinking about it.
One only for white people? Like, I don't like.
No.
He got it. He's there. He did it. He got it. Okay, good job.
Your ideal socialist revolution.
No, I'm not. No, hold on. I'm saying that there is a minimum of standard that I have that for candidates that they have to clear. If they're a fascist, and like Jim Crow was American fascism, then no, I'm not going to vote for them.
Okay,
I'm not going to vote for them.
Wait, hold on. Wait, can I just add like a couple more things to it? Like, what if you had advanced knowledge that your socialist friends would murder this man as soon as you did the socialist revolution?
Jesus Christ.
And then everybody gets socialism for minimum 200 years.
That's the bonus, is the murder. That's a sweetener for Prime.
All right, I think this will be the last hypothetical.
Come on, I just want to know the answer to that question.
No, no. Sorry, no. Like what you're trying to do, right, is like you're saying, hey, the hypothetical that I created, right, I think is firmly within the bounds of like logic, right? Like, now we have to bring in like exotic technologies, right, so that we can know into the future what's going to happen, right?
You brought up the segregation.
No into the future. That's the whole point. If you do this, then this will happen. Oh my God.
So the thing I keep thinking about is, was it worth it to be happy for a little bit? Even though it ended up sad? Or would it have been better if the whole thing never happened?